Good morning. Well, we come to this story. The sons of Jacob, except for Benjamin, had gone down into Egypt to buy wheat and to buy the produce that Egypt had, that Joseph had stored up during the 7 years of plenty. And they come to him, and he looks at them, and he calls them spies. He says, "You are surely spies." And they said, "No, we're not spies." "Well," says Joseph, "I'm going to test it. You say that one of your brothers is still living with your father, and the father is still well?" And they said, "Yes, that's right." He said, "Well, I'm going to hold one of you here. You go back to Canaan, and when you get back to Canaan, I want you to bring that other brother with you back here into this land. I want to see whether you're telling the truth." They must have been astounded. They come into Egypt to buy wheat. And now here they were, one of them was being set aside and being kept captive in Egypt, while they were going to go back to their father. And what's more, they bought the wheat that they'd come for, and they were going back to their father. But when they opened their sacks, they found on the top of each sack that their money had been put back in the sacks. The money they paid for the wheat was back in the sacks. They couldn't understand it. Couldn't understand. They got back to Jacob and they said, "Yes, we bought the wheat, but they thought we were spies. And they've held Simeon there. He's been held as a prisoner. So when we go back, we've got to take Benjamin with us. Otherwise, the person who's running that land, the prime minister of that land, he says, he will not release Simeon until he sees the 11th brother." And Jacob says, "Why did you have to tell him you had another brother?" And they said, "Well, we just told him. We didn't expect him to react in this way." The famine goes on. It gets worse. Jacob says, "I want you to go back to Egypt. I want you to go back there and try to get some more wheat and some corn. We are running out. We got lots of other things we can keep alive, but we haven't got these basics because of the famine." And they say, "Well, we can't go back." The person in charge, they call us spies, and he says, "You will be called spies if you don't bring your other brother with you." And Jacob says, "Joseph is gone. Now you want to take Benjamin as well?" See, he's still suspicious of them. He's not quite sure how it's going to work out. But they make a promise to him. They say, "We will truly look after Benjamin. We will truly do it." And Judah says, "If he doesn't come back, then expect my life of me. I lay down my life for you. I will protect the boy. I promise I will protect the boy." "Well," says Jacob, "you have to go. You have to go." And he allows them to go. And he allows Benjamin to travel with him. They get back to Egypt, and they come before this strange prime minister again, who is sort of challenging them in this way. They come before him. And they say quite simply, "Well, we've come, and we brought this other brother with us. And we don't quite know why you've asked him to bring us, but we've come." And they go to the steward. They say, "The last time we came, we paid for our goods, but when on our way home, we opened our sacks, and we found the money in the top of our sacks." "Oh," he said, "God must have put it there." He said, "You paid. I got a receipt. You paid for it. Everything is fine. Don't worry about it." And Simeon, who's been left in prison, comes out and joins them. Great rejoicing. They're there before this man. They don't understand what's going on. But Joseph, of course, can listen to them because he understands their language. They think he knows nothing about Hebrew. They just think he's an Egyptian. He's speaking in Egyptian. He's doing all these things. In fact, he says, "Well, as you've proven this and you brought Benjamin with you, come and have a meal with me." And they go and they have a meal with him. And they're amazed at this man. He has strange talents. He seats them all in order of their age. And when Benjamin is seated, he gives him a special blessing because he's come with them. And he says, "Good, now you're going to go back to your father. That's fine. Go back to your father and keep safe on the journey." But he's got a little plan which we haven't yet seen. Because he says to his steward, he says, "Put the money back in the sacks." He says, I don't want to charge them for the wheat I'm giving them. But put my cup in the Benjamin sack. Put that in there and leave it there. And of course, as they're traveling home, suddenly these Egyptian soldiers come after them and they say, you've taken the wheat, yes, you paid for that, that's okay. But when you left the Prime Minister's house, you stole his special cup that he has in the house. It's disappeared and we're sure you've taken it. They said, no, we haven't taken it. You haven't got to worry, it isn't with us. Well, he said, we're going to search your sacks. So he looks in the sacks, yes, he said, we know all about the money, that's all been put there. The steward told us about that. But when they come to Benjamin's sack, there's the cup. Well, he said, now we've proven it. You see, this is the cup. This is the cup which was lost. And they can't understand it. Why is this happening to them? What's happening? You know, when we think about things in our lives, as I said yesterday, and things seem to go completely wrong, has God forgotten you? No, there may be something else working out that you don't understand. Trust God. His plan is going to work out. Trust God. These 11 sons of Jacob, they must have wondered what's gone wrong. God's plan was working out.